Are you giving yourself permission to really be you? That was a question that a coach asked me 2 days ago. And when she did, I was like, damn, don't ask me such a hard question. Because the answer is simple. The answer is no, I'm not giving myself permission. I'm not giving myself permission to do what I want to do, to be what I want to be, and thereby to have the results I want to have this world that will be a better place through the things that I am creating. You know those times when you're conducting yourself in a way that is only like 1/8? It's a mere fraction of what you could be doing, of what you could be saying, of how you could be presenting yourself. And you're holding yourself back because you believe that this world will find all of you unacceptable, that the world will lash out against the 100%. So you only give 20, so you only give 10. The epiphany, not really epiphany, the realization, the thing I just saw fleetingly today, but which I'm trying to grab on through this processing here, is that whatever happened in reality to make us believe that we were not safe enough to just do what we wanted to do, to say what we wanted to say, and that we did say at one point, which was not accepted, which was told as this is wrong, right? That, I don't even know if this is a real word, but it's coming to my mind, admonishment, like that censure, that criticism, that chiding, that insult to our expression is now so internalized that it exists here. And if it exists in our minds and in our hearts, if it exists here, then there is no way for us to eliminate it out there. As long as we are holding inside us the things that we fear, the things that we hate, the things that make us feel small and angry, as long as they're inside us, as long as we are treading carefully because we know it exists out there, my friend, you are limiting yourself because it's existing inside here. And because you're not expressing it as though you are living in a world where that thing doesn't exist, that thing will continue to exist. I have to sneeze. Okay, I think I'm back temporarily. I'm gonna sneeze again soon though. Ugh. Okay, so let's get into the concrete because it's not easy to follow unless we go concrete. So let's go concrete. What can I talk about concrete? I could talk about race, I could talk about religion, I could talk about being queer or at least not straight. I could talk about cognitive dissonance, hypocrisy. We're all hypocritical, right? I could talk about abuse to children. I could talk about so many things, right? So I have to select one. Okay, let me just pause and think about it. Okay, I want to talk about something that is personal and that is something that I think some people could relate to, perhaps, maybe not, maybe not. So I have great love for Eminem. Eminem means a lot to me, and that doesn't mean I like his music, like especially the last few albums, haven't loved him. Specifically the violent stuff. I opposite of love that. I hate that. Nevertheless, Eminem means a lot to me. Now, since I became a feminist or realized that I'm a feminist, or I should say became a feminist because I was also at one point a misogynist. Since I became a feminist, sometimes in my feminist circles, when I would mention the word Eminem, immediately I would get like this response of what? What? Like it was just like it was not shock, it was actually rejection. That was the wrong expression. People would immediately like take away my feminist card, you know, by me saying that, well, I'm a feminist, but you like Eminem? Nope, you're not a feminist anymore, right? Like obviously I could understand why they're saying that. I can understand that if I say I like an artist who is known to be incredibly violent and abusive in his music to women, how can I be a feminist? Right? But why do I like Eminem? It certainly isn't because of that. In fact, if that's what I knew him for, I certainly would hate him. I would blacklist him. I would block him from ever appearing anywhere on any of my screens, right? When I say him, I mean his music, whatever content there is on him. So what I could do now is, having had a number of experiences, not too many, but a number of experiences like this, I could just either deny my love for Eminem completely. I could criticize myself for it. I could secretly continue to love Eminem but never express it openly, right? These are all things I could do. And if I'm doing these things, what I'm doing is I'm believing in a world and thereby perpetuating and creating a world. I'm basically claiming and saying that through my actions, right? Through my actions of hiding, I am operating in a world where these two things cannot be simultaneously accepted. Both being a feminist and loving Eminem can't be simultaneously accepted. But they are simultaneously existing in my reality. So that's the reality I've got to operate from within, because that's the reality I want to create. Now, I don't know if this is true, but now I'm going to get into a better example because it's more worldwide than just Eminem and feminism, okay? So this example is about Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. I was really shocked and surprised and horrified to find out through very trusted environmental sources that obviously the environmental laws in America were not in a good place when Trump was president. But when Biden took over, they have this whole thing about the new president. What laws is he going to do and what signatures is he going to sign? What things is he going to pass through within his first few days, right? Within the first 10 days, these are the things that he passed. Turns out Biden approved things that were so environmentally damaging that Trump hadn't approved those, right? And some people were saying, hold on, let me just clean my screen here. That is not better. Maybe fractionally, marginally. So in this case, me being an environmental person, right? An environmental worrier more than warrior, okay? Am I gonna all of a sudden lend my support to Trump because his laws were less damaging to the planet than Joe Biden? Is that the binary I'm operating in here? Or am I automatically gonna forgive or ignore or not publicize the fact that Biden has done these things has passed these laws which have wrecked and ruined the planet, and just turn a blind eye to it because at least he's not Trump? Because remember, I'm also a feminist and all that. Please, 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 please be aware of what kind of world do you actually want to be living in and operate from that truth. Make that truth. Make your inner desires the reality by expressing truth in a way that fits your desires. You can be critical of both. You can love both things at the same time and have that not be one or the other. Living in a world of binaries is honestly one of maybe it's a Western thing, but whatever it is dominant. It is dominant in this world. But it is so limiting to the human experience. It's so false when it comes to anything in nature. Anything and everything in nature is not simply one or the other. I've mentioned this example before, but it's like A plant is a plant. It is us humans who have decided to label each and every part like, okay, the part under the ground is the root, and then the part that has a bark is the stem or is the trunk. And then the parts that jut out, those are boughs or branches. And then from them come these parts, and then on them grow these leaves. And the leaves have these parts, and then you've got chloroplasts and blah, blah, blah. We're so curious about things that we love to explore them. And in order to explore them and talk about them, labels can be helpful. But labels were not meant to be, or we shouldn't make them a tool for stripping things off and saying one thing means that it is completely not the other. That is absolute nonsense. Yes, a flower is not a leaf, but they're both part of the same plant. The fact here that I'm trying to express to you is if you start to self-censor, if you start to hold back because you're worried about something out there not accepting the fullness of what you have actually within you, that you're holding back, then you're creating a world through holding back that doesn't allow the fullness of you or of anyone else like you. That is the point. 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 That's a point. So now tell me, are you ready to give yourself the permission to really be 100% totally and absolutely you? Because if you aren't, then you're saying that I'm willing to live now in this world that just only wants little bits and parts of me that it finds acceptable. That the world that I am creating and that I am a part of, I am actually not allowed to be in it as I am, as I fully am. And yes, there were times when, a person can hate themselves that much. Of course they can. I did. I found myself utterly unacceptable. And, for the vast majority of my life. But that was because I had internalized all the voices that told me again and again, every single day, every single night, every single waking moment, my family, that I was unacceptable, that there was no space for me, that my emotions were an inconvenience, that I was a drain on their resources. Oh, it's too deep. I'm gonna go cry now. Bye. My name is Nandini. If this ever makes it to Figuring It Out Alive, please subscribe for more such honest rawness. Bye.